Welcome back, everyone. Friar Tech here. This is my epoch. Okay, so today's topic is understanding homelessness, and it's an expensive lifestyle. So I did a playlist for people that are new to being homeless. It is called the Beginner's Guide to Being Homeless, because those are some important keywords. But I did that, and now what I'm doing is another section called Understanding Homelessness. And understanding homelessness is more or less for those of you that are interested in the lifestyle, that want to know a little bit more what it's like because you're housed up. This will kind of give you a deeper understanding of what it's like to be homeless from a homeless man's perspective. And, you know, being homeless is actually fairly expensive. You don't really think about it because, you know, most of the stuff that we do, we're so used to it, it's become so normal that we don't even think about the hidden taxes and the hidden expenses and things like that. So, I mean, let's talk about, you know, basic vices. If you are a smoker, before Obama came into office, now this was passed before he came in, it just happened to start the day he came into office, but you could go buy a pouch of tobacco for $1.25, $1.50. If you really wanted like some premium tobacco, you pay $2.25, $2.50 max, okay? And you would get real rolling tobacco, real cigarette tobacco. Well, they realized that the homeless were smoking roll your owns, and they realized it was worse for your health. But the reason why the homeless were smoking roll your owns was because it was inexpensive, and it allowed them to keep their habit going at a minimal cost. And so what did Congress do? They decided to raise the sin tax. So there is something called a sin tax because way back during the Depression era, after the undoing of the bootleg laws, okay? So, you know, because at one point in time, alcohol was illegal to drink. We were a moral country. And so part of that was the sin tax. And the sin tax is which, when you buy gas, your part of the tax that you're paying is a sin tax because you're being destructive to the earth. Another sin tax is alcohol, and then you've got tobacco as well. And now that weed's becoming legal, I wouldn't be surprised if part of that is the sin tax. And this is how the government supports itself. And a lot of people think, oh, well, the homeless, they don't pay tax. Actually, we pay a lot more taxes than you think, because every time we go to the store, we got to pay tax. You know, you've got guys that are like the molly heads in Gainesville. Those guys, you know, they use blunt wraps, and they got to go buy the cigars so that they could break it down, and then they sprinkle a little bit of their stuff on the tobacco, roll it up, and that's how they do that. That's how they consume their stuff in Gainesville. Well, every time you gotta go down and buy one of those, you're paying for the cigar, you're paying the sin tax, you're paying the sales tax, okay? And considering the homeless probably next to somebody who drives like 500 miles a week, the homeless pay more in taxes just in their basic consumptions, whether it be, you know, alcohol, whether it be cigarettes, whether it be food, whether it be going and buying something from the store. You know, you're paying a tax every time you turn around. On top of that, you know, you don't have places to be able to prepare your food. You don't have a place, and if you did something like what I'm doing, which is getting a butane burner and doing it like that, you still can't do that within the city. You kind of got to hide in an alley and do something like that. But the cost of food, because, you know, there are very few places that feed as good as Cincinnati, okay? Even Gainesville, even though they fed 3 times a day, the portions were getting so small that if you didn't have food stamps, if you didn't have a way to go out there and you know, supplement what they couldn't feed you, you were kind of stuck. And then this, again, is another hidden tax, okay? Because the cost of something to go and buy it daily, something that is like non-perishable, or something that you got to like cook right then and there if you're going to buy meat or certain other things, that stuff right there is, you know, it gets expensive, especially when you got to buy it on a daily basis, versus when you're housed up. 1, you can wait for sales. 2, you also have the ability to go to places, buy it in bulk, and when you buy in bulk, you get better pricing than when you buy just small amounts, okay? And so therefore it costs a lot more to live in that manner as well. You know, as far as getting around town, well, I mean, we don't have a car, so the constant, you know, if you don't want to walk, then, you know, you're going to be paying $1.50 each time you get on the bus, you know, and then that again is another expense in which you have, you know, and we're not even getting into the drugs and all of that, because that in itself, yes, that is for most people out here, that is an expensive habit. But if you wanted to give a blanket statement to, you know, how expensive of a lifestyle is it something where if you have no money, you can survive? If you have no money, you could survive, but it is going to be so difficult that, you know, you would have been better off just going in the woods and figuring out how to forage on your own. You know, that's kind of the way the system is set up. And so the homeless, in order to be able to exist and to avoid like loitering charges and other things like that, we have to constantly be putting money into the system. So a lot of people say that okay, so part of the reason why 3CDC, which is it's restructuring all these buildings here in Cincinnati. Okay, so in the downtown area, and getting them, they're re-beautifying the city, rebuilding the Rust Belt. Okay, and see, they're operating on behalf of businesses and business interests, and businesses don't like the homeless, because when you're standing out there and you're begging for change, first of all the business owner thinks is that you're going to go buy drugs with it, one, and two, he thinks that loose change that you're taking from the customer, or from his potential customer, could have meant that it would have been more money that would have been spent in his store, which means more money in his pocket, because he needs to get rich while you stay poor. Okay, and if, I mean, being a business owner, I can say that, having owned a small business, that is the average mentality of your average businessman. Now, those of us that have been homeless, we have a little bit of a different attitude towards it. But as far as these things go, this is just, you know, business owners, they're not, they don't like that. And so therefore what they're doing is it's in their best interest to get the homeless out of the downtown area. And this is why a lot of cities are making the downtown area where the homeless can't go. And, you know, that's also killing us as far as not being able to have, you know, access to funds. And what happens when you take an addict's access to supporting their habit away? You're going to get increased theft, you're going to get increased crime, you're going to start seeing violent crime, because they're going to start lashing out and things like that. But this is the push and pull between businesses and the homeless population, because they look at us as taking money out of their pocket and a scourge, whereas, you know, for us out here, we look at them as jerks, and, you know, those guys have no soul, no heart, because that's kind of the way that they are. It's all about making more money. And, you know, instead of, there are businesses out there that are kind to the homeless. It's part of the reason why I go to Coffee Emporium. It is one of the few businesses that are kind to the homeless. It's a place where we can go use the bathroom. But the thing is because they're kind to the homeless, we take care of that area. Not everybody goes in there and uses the bathroom unless they're going to be clean, because not only will they kick them out, but those of us that use the bathroom will also kick them out. So you think that just because you let the homeless in your business, that it's going to destroy your bathroom and you're going to have ODs in the bathroom. That's not necessarily true. The places that are constantly, like, you know, trying to kick the homeless down the street, those are the places that generally have the worst issues, because, you know, people are going into these spots out of desperation. But when you have a place like Coffee Emporium that's kind to the homeless, yeah, you come in, use the bathroom. We even go in there, buy cups of coffee. I mean, they're reasonably priced coffee, best priced coffee in the whole town. And, you know, we not only do we frequent it because now we got a place to sit down and stay warm, and they don't care that we're homeless, and they have compassion, and you know, and stuff like that. And that's important out here. There are very few businesses that do that. But that is the contrast between those businesses that are, you know, accepting of the homeless and work within the community of like, look, just don't trash our bathroom, otherwise we'll close it out. Well, then they'll make sure, you know, to keep that right. And usually it's the old guys and stuff like that, and we all have a different relationship with the staff. Okay. Yeah, again, so I mean, I know somebody in there who I'm talking with. There's a couple of old guys in there. I know them. They're talking with people, and you know, some of these guys will come and check up on us because, you know, we come in there on such a regular basis. You know, that's part of the reason why I sleep next to Coffee Emporium, is because I got quick access to a bathroom in the mornings, which is what I need. But anyways, this is just a brief understanding of like how expensive it is, and kind of the push and pull between businesses and the homeless. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. You know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber, share the video. Everything else is down in the description.